Welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. Guys, home builders are halting construction because of their fear of the marketplace. You want to tune in for this one. We'll see you on the inside. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. I'm here with my wonderful host, Carl Freund. He's looking jacked, man.
Dude, I'm trying.
Is 75 hard still really working out for you, huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to get lean and big.
Yeah, lean and mean, man.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I love it. I love it. You know, this guy stays shredded 24/7, 365.
Trying to keep up with you, dude.
Jeez. You're doing a good job over
there,
bro.
Thank you.
Cool.
Not bad for an old guy.
But let's talk about this, right? So there's word on the street that home builders are halting construction.
It's true.
Until they get, more confidence into the marketplace. That's pretty significant. I've personally never even heard of something like that. I've never even seen a headline saying builders are completely stopping because they have quotas and they have numbers that they need to hit and they need to sell houses quick and fast. One thing that I have been seeing is that they're coming out of the woodworks, right? Builders are offering crazy incentives, paying for everybody's closing costs, giving them $15,000 to buy down the rate. They're actually paying agents what they're worth now. They're not giving them zero commission or a 1% commission for bringing somebody in. And they're sending out tons of emails, everything. And a lot of these builders are actually speccing out the rest of their communities.
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't like us at all 6 months ago.
For the last 2 years.
And they were literally like, Josh, go pound sand.
Yeah, big F you guys.
Don't need you.
I'll have to give it. I do give it up to D.R. Horton. They've always paid 3%.
Yep.
Yeah,
solid.
Which is a cool thing.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys because if it wasn't for us agents bringing in these buyers, you would have no clients.
Right.
That's a big thing. But to see them say that they're going to be stopping, their production as far as houses, that's something pretty significant.
Well, yeah, and the headline might be a little bit misleading because they're not stopping, right? They're slowing down the housing starts.
I would totally agree with you.
And a lot of it has got to do with inflation. So we're seeing, cost of goods go up. I don't know if you saw the headline not too long ago, but they're talking about potential supply chain issues already. In FedEx, I don't know if people know this, but FedEx basically is just a top level corporation. They subcontract all the couriers that actually show up to your house. So like FedEx Ground, all those guys are independent couriers.
Yeah, you can buy routes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And they're saying that they don't have a big enough profit margin right now to even start showing up. And so like we're seeing shipping costs increase. We're seeing cost of goods increase. We're seeing slowdowns in China and production again. It's starting to make me a little bit nervous where I'm like, yeah, as the supply chain goes, the rest of the economy kind of goes. Yep. And there's still a lot of pent-up demand right now for consumer goods, for housing. There's still a need for housing. And so the builders are running the numbers and they're saying, hey, wait a minute, at a 6% mortgage, at whatever the price is for the base, it's a lot more than it was even, 6 months ago. What does that look like for us in terms of a home builder? And they're saying it's too much risk. And so, of course, there's always going to be a need for housing. That's not going to change. And the population growth, right? Like we're seeing our population as the United States grow due to immigration, just to natural, reproduction. Mm-hmm. And so naturally we're seeing, in a lot more Gen Z buyers are coming in. So, they're starting to get wealthy. They're buying homes at 21, 22 years old, which I've never seen before.
It's pretty wild, yeah.
And I love it. I really do like people getting into the game. So the home builders are really, they're running the math and they're saying, hey, wait, cost of goods are increasing, cost of land is increasing, cost of financing is increasing. Yeah, there's going to be a squeeze, and so they understand that. So what they're probably going to wait for is supply chains to clear up a little bit. I'm guessing after the holidays. So we're already seeing people pre-buy stuff now for Christmas season, for holiday season. So I'm a little bit nervous myself, but they're not stopping production. It's not going to stop.
Yeah, I think stopping would be, obviously that's some clickbait stuff, that we saw in this headline there too. But I know we love to talk about like supply chain because that's really, how the economy really gets impacted. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping in touch or keeping on tabs of like what's really going on like in China, but their economy is about to take a major dive. Yep. For the worst here, one being in their real estate market. So what's happening, what we feel was happening in like 06, 07, 08 is now coming to fruition within China.
Which is weird because it's a political movement. Mm-hmm. It's a little different than an economic movement. And so we're seeing literally people just stop paying mortgages to the government essentially because they're like, we don't agree with what you're doing. And I think the Chinese people have had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you know about the big real estate, you know, company or monopoly over there, you know, Evergrande.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of people that were promised houses that they're not even getting houses anymore.
Not delivered.
Yeah. They literally have whole cities that are ghost towns that were built for production, and there's nobody living in there.
Right.
And I think they're, you know, the population and, you know, the owners of these potential homes are fed up with it. I've even heard some crazy stuff where they're starting to freeze bank assets, and you're locking your money out.
Yep. Guess what happens in a communistic country?
Some of the words.
Yeah.
Imagine that
Communist.
happening, guys. So obviously we as the United States and a lot of other countries, you know, depend and rely on a lot of what that, you know, China labor and China's supply of goods, you know, to the United States as far as our imports. So if that affects the supply chain and something with China happens, then the entire population, the entire U.S. and everybody's going to feel that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the largest economies in the entire world.
Yes.
Right? And what's really scary is that the LA port came out the other day and they're saying, hey, we're waving some red flags here. We have a lot of ships that are not able to port yet, you know, and so the truck drivers are having issues. Again, because of California are freaking idiots, and they banned a lot of the older diesel trucks from coming across their land.
For emissions.
For emissions reasons, right? So literally you don't have the trucks showing up at the port. Now diesel fuel is so expensive that the trucks are being left at the gas station. And they're just saying, hey, bank, come take it back. You know, so like we have multiple issues here in the supply chain. So we have a delivery issue. It's literally uneconomically feasible or economically unfeasible to be able to deliver goods because it's so expensive. We have ports sitting outside, and then their production is being capped. And so we're seeing a lot of areas where there could be a massive breakdown. And so as supply decreases and demand stays the same, what happens to prices? They go up. So what happens when inflation goes up? The interest rates go up. What happens when interest rates go up? Cost of housing, you know, because not everybody's paying cash. You know, the cost to live from month to month, your monthly payment is going to go up. And so builders are looking at it and be like, yep, we have major issues.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart decision to have that kind of foresight to know that, hey, we got to start protecting our bottom line now. They learned. A lot of these builders are still here, you know, that happen to be, you know, exposed with their pants down in 08. Yep. And they knew that they outbuilt, you know, a lot of their communities, and they were experiencing the same thing, ghost towns. And they were just throwing themselves, you know, we got to get these off the books, somebody buy it, and giving major discounts, dropping the prices, whatever they had to do to get those houses sold, right? And there's a lot of individuals that I think starting in 2010 and 11 where, you know, and a lot of investors and a lot of money started flowing back into the economy and real estate had to clean up that mess, right? I think that's going to happen, you know, here within China, but slowing down the production, I think, is going to do, you know, a lot of good. And it's going to keep the demand there still. And I think it's going to keep our prices, you know, a little bit locked in based off of what your area, your city, and obviously your state, you know.
Yeah, they're not just going to take a loss on them. You're correct. You know, the fact that, you know, they're not going to drop them below what it costs them to build them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's on the books.
I don't think so either. They have the ability to hold it,
Yep.
right? They have the ability to hold it. And
well,
I believe
they're cash heavy right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Extremely cash heavy. And I tell this to a lot of like your sellers, right? Hold your price.
Yep.
Wait for that buyer to come through. If you have the ability to stay and be patient, hold your price. Somebody that loves a house enough and actually is okay with, you know, paying, you know, the higher interest rate and needs to move at a necessity, somebody will buy your home. If you have to get rid of it, you know you're going to take a haircut.
Yep.
You know, some of the clients that we've had, you know, they've taken $50,000 less. I've had a client that, you know, accepted $100,000 less because that was out of necessity. They had to get rid of the house, you know, and somebody walked away with, you know, an amazing deal. And good for them. There's opportunities out there for you guys, you know, if you really want to take advantage. And if you guys are looking to get into a new build, I love new builds. Once the market starts to go, you know, I don't want to say south, but, you know, turns a different direction later in the year, maybe even next year, buy a new build.
Yep.
I love new builds. Why? Because they're new. New roof, new AC, new plumbing, new everything. So you put a tenant in there, you know, you start cash flowing, you're $500 to $1,000 a month. You got a good interest rate, good mortgage, you're good to go. You're clean.
Yep.
So do we really see that the builders are going to actually stop and halt production? Absolutely not, guys. So we do see that they are going to be maybe pulling back quite a little bit, you know, putting on the brakes, you know, significantly because of production and what Carl is talking about with supply chain. But we will keep tabs on it. We'll make sure to keep you informed and give you all of the necessary updates so you guys can make a smart, financial, educated decision for you and your family. But until next episode, guys, we'll see you on the inside. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We want to continue to bring you so much value every single episode. Until next time, see you on the inside.